Hey everybody, welcome to the Sort of Okay show about horses with Buck and Kyle, and I finally have a co-host, so I'm really excited about this. Unfortunately, my co-host is Buck again, and I kind of am a little disappointed I didn't find someone a whole lot cooler and more clever, like virtually anybody. I tried to pick up people at the gas station, and they didn't want anything to do with it because Buck's name was still on the title. So unfortunately, here's Buck.
Well, now maybe people actually watch the show, and they know that they're not going to watch to hear me anyway. So I'm just, go Kyle, keep talking.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear, is Buck saying, is Buck cheering me on. So we're going to discuss a couple things tonight. One of the big thing we're doing is we're compiling teams for the Fantasy Equestrian League. And it's kind of a cool one because you can win 50% of the take on this competition. It is a game of skill. You've got to compile your teams very cleverly, which is obviously a stretch for both Buck and myself, especially Buck. And then you can, we can pull in teams from where we add show jumping and dressage to it, and you'll see by how we've compiled our teams how you should do yours or not. And then there's a combination competition where there's an iPad mini up for grabs for this Olympic selection and Burley, I believe. If you go to their website, it explains it all. Unfortunately, I found out today with the iPad mini that I don't think either you or I, Buck, are actually in contention for it because they sponsor the show. So I think it excludes us from it.
Oh, are you kidding me? And it has Michael Young's signature on it?
Well, I thought you'd like that.
I bet for a little bit extra, you probably get your signature on it, Kyle.
Yeah, my signature could be put on it no matter what.
Maybe we could just get like a picture of you.
I was so excited when I heard that we could win that. I was like, I mean, the money's great. I'd like to win money. And then I was like, that's awesome. And Jen was like, yeah, I don't think you can win it. So, which is no threat probably anyways against, looking at my history against the people who played the game, I think I'm ranking like 23rd or something like that. It's really pathetic.
Just against me, you're in second. So
against you, I believe in review you lost the last competition again. So that was, which one was that you just lost? Montana. That's right. You won it individually, but you lost it to me again. So you haven't wore the pink hat cover yet all year. I might as well just send it to you and you can just keep it.
I didn't win that one?
No, you didn't win that one. You stunk at it.
I did? Well, I know that the poor one girl, she didn't make it through the dressage. That was a little bit heartbreaking. And then, but I had Hannah. She was second. And then I had James. He was fourth. Yeah. So that's good. How could I have lost? I can't even remember.
I had you.
I think. And she was in the prize giving. I mean, how could I have lost this? Who did you have?
I had you. I had Holly, who was third. I had Holly that was third, and then my next one was right in there. So I think through points, I beat you completely, and you're an embarrassment to the sport and yourself and your family.
I see what you're doing. You're just picking everything associated with Buck. Probably not a bad move.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a hard one that way because you pretty much associated yourself with everybody there, and you wouldn't didn't want to pollute your luck by picking anybody in your team. I was like, that's a dumb mistake.
Oh well, so, at least one event.
So you missed every single Young Rider episode, our most important episodes of the year, because it was our chance to get the younger fans interested in our sport, in our show, and you missed the whole thing. It was really sad.
Well, I have to give you credit. Your kid won the 2-star, which is a big deal. And obviously she listens to nothing you said. And she just do as I say, not as I do, I guess. But actually, I kind of think I got a phone call from her telling her what she should really do. But no, that's awesome, man. Congratulations. And I know that you've worked really hard. And finally somebody listened to you. I mean, that's amazing in itself, but that's a big deal to have. I know it wasn't just that you coached her at the show, but you've coached her for a long time, And that's a big deal. And congratulations to Shelby on winning the Young Riders. That's certainly something that I never did. And did you ever win that, Kyle?
No. I was a complete failure, utter failure.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Me too. So it's at least we can commiserate together. And but that's a big deal for her and a big deal for you. And congratulations, guys. That's end of me being nice.
When you think about it, if you take everybody in riding, you typically have probably 99.9999.6% that lose, that don't win Young Riders. So we are actually in the popular group. These other people that win, like Carolyn Martin, who won a couple of years ago of yours, and Shelby, who won this year, they're obviously just a bit loners. Something wrong with them.
Yeah, exactly. Two people that listen to you and me. Oh well. Eventually they'll learn.
Right. So, did you get a chance to look at this, that you create your teams? Because I've got papers everywhere here trying to, figure it out and balance it. And I think I've got it. I think I've got the winning team all the way through because I keep switching my people around the whole time. You got it. There's yours.
Stone cold locks right here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Kyle,
so I think
cat cover again.
I think because of the way this all sets up, I think we should pick starting with the dressage. You run through your whole dressage team, which is if you haven't looked at it yet, you pick 2 dressage riders, and then you pick 1 show jumper and 1 eventer, and that's your dressage team. They have to combine to make the point. So let's do the dressage first. And why don't you run through your whole group there, and then I'll run through mine.
Okay, so for my
and then we'll switch.
For my my dressage team, which is, this is about as sure thing as the sun coming up tomorrow. The Charlotte Desjardins Vallegro, I don't see how you could leave them off. And for me, the best pure rider in the dressage world is Edward Gall and his horse Boyce. And so those are my 2 dressage, and they'll be gold and silver. You heard it here first, but that's what's going to happen. And then my show jumping rider, number 1 in the world. I think the best show jumping rider, probably the best rider in the world in McLean Ward, with Azure. And that mare has been going incredible. You've heard lots of talk about her for the last few years, but she's gotten to the top level and impressed everybody at the top level. And no better competitor than McLean. So be great for America, too, to have an individual gold medalist. So that's going to happen. And then in the eventing, I'm going to go with Chris Burton and Santano too, because my friend in England told me I should look at the horse, and then he also told me it was going to win a gold medal. So JP Sheffield, this one's for you, and so if I'm wrong, blame him. So there you go. That's it. Done and dusted. Winner.
All right. So I have to now adjust mine because I picked very similar lines. I think that when you look at these, there is those strong people, but because I thought that might have happened, I actually had a bunch of backups in there. I'm taking Charlotte as well because how could you not? Unless tomorrow we find out the horse has been withdrawn from the competition, it's a shoe-in for it. For my second, though, because of this situation, I've got Edward Gall on my 1 list, but I'm going to switch and go to Isabel Worth. She's number 3, I think, in the world right now. Edward is absolutely, you're correct, probably the best pure dressage rider in the world. But I think that horse is just coming on, and I'm going to go with Isabel and give her a shot there. For the show jumpers, I'm taking Simon Delesta, who is number 1 in the world at the moment in show jumping on FEI rankings. And, it's hard to argue with that.
I thought
Yeah, McLean's number 3, buddy, I think. I just looked at it before I got the show.
Yours might be outdated. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. Whatever, McLean's better.
Okay, well, fair enough. I will say that I wouldn't disagree with you. I think McLean is unbelievable, and I would never bet against him. But at the Olympics, it's not, it's very hard to go in as the favorite or the most likely to succeed and come away with the medal. I mean, we see it a lot. It's very much on the day. So I'm going with something a little different. I had a really different pick earlier. So, and then for the eventing component of it, I'm going to go with Michael Young since you left him wide open. I did have a second pick on that I'll probably use in a minute. And I think that, I mean, what can you say? It's Michael Young. So I have Chris on my one team as well because I agree with you. It looks a genuine threat. I think there's 3 there that are pretty scary.
Yeah.
So that's my dressage team. Yay, dressage team.
I think that's why you choose.
Why don't I do the show jump team before we go on to the next one? Is that the plan?
That sounds good. Go for it.
Okay. So for the show jumping team, I am going, sorry, this has happened last weekend too. I had so many pieces of paper, I was losing them all. I am going again, Simon Delesta. And then I'm going Danielle. God, you know what? I'm going to go BZ Madden on that.
Do something you
can
read.
Yeah, when it gets, the worst part is I couldn't have read it anyways, and then I wrote it, and I guess it's like, it's got a bunch of D's in it. Now I'm going to go with BZ Madden as my second on the show jumping team. Then I'm going to switch it up from Michael Young for the eventing because I just want to mess around with this a little bit. And I'm going to put Chris Burton on my show jump team, and then I'll go with putting Charlotte in as my dressage rider for that.
All right. So I'm going to kind of do the same, mess around a little bit and see how we do. So I'm going to have world number 1, McLean Ward, on the show jumping team, obviously. Kyle's facts are probably off because I know a couple weeks ago McLean was certainly number 1, and it doesn't matter. He's still better than everybody else. So he's there. And then Ben Mayer, I think he's a beautiful rider, and the horse is owned by an American, Jane Clark, Tic Tac, and I can actually pronounce those names, so that's kind of one of the reasons. And then, of course, you got to go with the dressage with Allegro, Charlotte Desjardins, just because you have to. And in the eventing, I actually don't think Michael Young is going to win. I just think at some point you just got to not win an event, right? Like at some point it has to stop. And so kind of going between Sandra Offart and Clark Montgomery on this one. And I am going to go, I think, with Sandra because I don't want to put too much pressure on Clark. I know he'll be watching the show and think, oh my God, Buck says I'm going to win this, and he'll put too much pressure on himself. And so I think I'm going to jinx Sandra so that maybe Clark can win.
All right. Well, I like that idea. I just was checking my FEI rankings here, buddy, and yeah, McLean's 3rd at the moment. He used to be number 1, but I mean, that's a long time ago. So he's moved down to 3rd from the previous ranking. You know, he's obviously backpedaling. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't withdraw before show jumping. You know, he's probably so disappointed with not having the FEI numbers where he wants them.
Yeah, just so you know, and you probably just confused the viewers, but in pure show jumping, they actually don't do anything before show jumping, so there's no need to withdraw before show jumping. That would be called withdrawing before the competition. And if you know McLean, he's not withdrawing. I can promise you that.
No, we know that. He's definitely going to keep going with it. So at least we've got some interesting picks, and I do think it's a little bit when I was doing this and I started my formulas here, I kind of feel like I'm picking lottery numbers because I keep switching them around and stuff when I feel one is really strong, but I just throw another one in because they're equally as strong. And I think that says a lot about the quality out there at the moment because there is a bunch you could put out there, and every person you've been mentioning is on this paper in front of me where I was trying to pick from and stuff. So it's kind of fun because how wrong can you be? You know, like how do you say, well, you know, of course I left Chris Burton off. Why would I put him on there? You know, he's a contender, or Clark, or Michael Young. I mean, it's such a great situation to be picking in. Never do you get to do this.
It's a little bit sad, your lack of patriotism, because I don't believe I heard any Canadians' names called. Would you like to have a rethink about that? Maybe you could put in a Canadian coach to coach your team.
If we could pick where it's if we could pick, you're not going to bait me to that hook. If we could put a ranking on where we thought teams would end up, I'd say Canada's going to end up 9th. They might end up 8th, but I think they're going to end up 9th. And it'd be interesting to see how that turns out. And I mean, I don't know where you think they're going to end up, but I think that's the best they're going to get. What do you think? Any ideas?
Yeah, I don't really know exactly how many teams are in the thing, but yeah, 9th sounds good. Maybe I'll be a little more optimistic and say 8.5. I'll take the under kind of deal. I don't know. You know, interesting enough, a friend of mine told me that if you go into a betting shop in Ireland and want to bet on the eventing, that who do you think is the favorite for eventing? Is just a little quiz.
In Ireland or in the world?
Yeah, like if you go into a betting shop, who has the best odds of winning gold medal? Team gold medal. Bet you won't get it.
I'm going to go Australia.
Nope. United States of America.
Really?
Yeah, but if you think about it, it makes sense because we got 3 people in the top 15 in the world or whatever on the team. And obviously, you know, some of our events are a little easier to get points in than the other countries. But like I think Philip's 3rd, Boyd's 7th, and Lauren's maybe 11th or something. So from a, you know, just an outside perspective, that's how I guess they would have gone with it. And I think Germany is second favorite. But anyway, that was a shock to me. And but anyway, there you go.
Well, I think the thing is when you look at world rankings going into a competition like this, it is very useful, but you know, it doesn't tell the whole story. You've got Boyd going in on Blackfoot Mystery, who you wouldn't expect it to feature the way that, you know, he's got his numbers on the other horses, so his points are there. Clark is probably nowhere, you know, not really high up in the ranking compared to some of the other riders, but his performances would be pretty, you know, spectacular. So, you know, I think that I wouldn't, not that I would go against Irish betting. I love that they can bet on this stuff because I think it makes it more interesting. It brings more participation in.
And I think this is where I bring I'm so important to the show because we wouldn't have these little facts, you know. I spend my day doing research on how to make the show better and, you know, things like that. So, you know, hopefully more people will tune in because they get to actually hear some good insight from somebody that is actually knowledgeable.
Yeah, no, we all appreciate what you do to make this show better, including not show up. In fact, that was, we think, the biggest compliment and improvement on the show. From all the fan mail I got from those 4 episodes without you, the one thing we did discover was that Buck is strongest served on this program if he's not there at all.
That is actually what all my owners say about when I go to events, you know, like Buck, probably better if you're not even riding the horse. They will go much better. And I am fully aware of my shortcomings. And so when I want things to succeed, I hide.
I can see your point there for sure. So, on to the eventing team.
Oh yeah, we still have to do that. All right, so since you
got the eventing team.
You picked the last team, I'll pick this one. It's for me. The team is again going back on my word, which is what I do all the time. Anyway, we're going to go with Michael Young, Sandra Offhart, just because she's the world champion, and I'm a little worried about that pick because I don't think she's competition tested. And maybe rested on her laurels, but it's a very good horse, and she rides it beautifully, and it will be ready. So there's that. Because I'm a patriotic person, I'm putting Clark Montgomery in with Lachlan Glenn. And then my fourth pick is Australian Chris Burton and Santano. And there you go. I don't even know if anybody's going to.
Okay, so here's the things. We have two eventing choices, picks here. The one being, as we've done the other ones, I hate to have to explain this and make you look silly in front of the whole audience, but the one is that we need two eventers, one dressage, one show jumper, and then we do another team of just like you picked. So we'll skip to the last one, which is the one you just did.
Exactly.
And I've got Clark Montgomery because I think that has every possibility of being on the podium. I've got Michael Young because I think you'd be pretty foolish not to take him. I'm going with Christopher Burton as well because that's like, I see really big things happening, as obviously you do. And then I had a sort of a switch back and forth between Joel Price and William Fox Pitt. And I'm going with William because I just, I love it that he's back out there after, his fall a couple of years ago. That Chilly Morning is really good at this, certainly at this level. I would say the flat, which is outstanding, probably needs a little bit of polish right now from what it had been, but I think in the time he's got just on that horse, it's gonna come through. So there's my team to match your team and beat it, and that will be the end of that piece of paper. Now, shall we go to the eventing team that we were supposed to pick there a minute ago?
It seems like, to me, you just might as well just say what Buck said. Like, that would, make it exactly what you're doing and take a lot less time. Because that seems to be...
What are you talking about? I didn't hear you say William Fox.
Clark, we'll take Chris, and we better pick somebody else because I don't want to look like I'm a follower. But you're a follower.
I sat down this afternoon. I spent hours researching this and came up with these names and everything. I wish I just picked. You know what? Next time, I'd like you to pick my team and your team, and that way I don't have to actually do any of the work.
Well, that would be normal. I mean, even when I don't show up, I just feed you all the information and stuff to say, and then you take all the credit.
Pot? Hello, Pot? Is that the kettle? Are you calling me Randy?
Maybe. Yep.
Okay. So he's not going to watch this anyways.
Well, yeah, he will.
He might now because we mentioned his name.
Exactly. And if there was a mirror, he'll be watching this and then look in the mirror and then watch this and look in the mirror. So I think, yep, I look good. Okay.
Okay. So we got to do the eventing team, the other one. Do you want me to throw this out there? Then you can follow my lead.
Yeah, go for it because I have absolutely no idea what we're supposed to be doing. So I thought I did it last time.
We're doing two event riders, one dressage and one show jumping, because we have to spread it amongst the whole competition, apparently, to make it a game of skill.
Okay.
So this gives you time to think of it. Obviously, you're going to know who you want to slot in. I'm going in eventing. I'm going to go with I got Michael Young here, but I'm going to go with Clark Montgomery, Chris Burton, Charlotte, and then I'm going with Beezy in the show jumping. That horse was doing really well, I think, over in Europe just recently, and I just love the way she rides and competes, and she's got just such a cool head on her shoulders, and I didn't want to have too many guys on my team, so that's the end of mine.
All right. I actually love your pick with Beezy. That horse is fantastic, and there's, between McLean and Beezy, America is pretty stoked. There are two people that have the best heads and the best technique and maybe the best horses in this thing. And so, that bodes well for America. But so my eventing team will be, I will go with Sandra and Chris Burton, Sandra Offhart and Chris Burton, and Charlotte and Vallegro for the dressage, and McLean again for the show jumping, because why not? That's what's going to work, and that's what's going to win. And it's going to be a fun Olympics for me to sit back and watch and count my money.
Yeah. Are you? You're at Millbrook this weekend, right?
I am. Yes, I was actually. I do dressage tomorrow, but as there's no Wi-Fi, I am staying home tonight so I can do this show with you and bring more viewers. And then I will get up really, really early after I change my baby's diaper, give her a bath, take care of my wife, cook her breakfast, go do some stalls, study for the next show, give you some content, and then I actually might be walking to the horse show, but that's just before 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you take on the role of a politician, you should really tell everybody a bunch of stuff that is a bunch of crap. But you've done it very well, so I say Buck for president.
I think this is one presidential election I think I could win. I mean,
I'll tell you what. I'm a little nervous about the whole thing, and with what we've got for choices and all that. Not that I get to vote. And if they elected you, I'd be moving back to Canada. With these two candidates, which I'm not fans of, I think I'll stick it out and see what happens.
I think if I got elected, I'd be moving to Canada too.
You broke off there on me, but I'll tell you what I'm doing right now. As you're breaking off,
yep,
I'm building a wall, and it's going to be incredible. It's a wall,
and you're going to pay for it.
The Mexicans.
All right, we are not making this a political show because we're going to lose 2 viewers that we have.
All the 5 viewers we have are going to be dropping us now. All right, so Millbrook this weekend, great event. If you're up in that area, you should go out and watch it. I love Millbrook. I would love to be up there, but after getting back from Colorado, I'm like 2 weeks of a lot of early mornings, which I'm not a fan of. There was no way I was going to load up and head to Millbrook and perform poorly. I like to prepare well to perform poorly. So I wish I was there, but maybe next year if things work out a little bit better. But it is a great event, and I hope that you guys all are up. I know there's a lot of entries, and they'll do a great job. So you can tell us about it next week, eh?
I hope I'll have good reports.
Well, with you riding, it's unlikely, but you got lucky at lucky in Montana with two division wins, CCI wins. That's excellent. Good work. Did you pay everybody else not to compete?
I did. Yep. That's quite helpful. And yes, Millbrook is. I've won the advanced 4 years in a row on the same horse, and decided not to bring him. And I'm going to save him for the AAC. So we'll try to let another horse come through this weekend. And thankfully for me, you're not going to be there, so I might have a chance. Got it.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but the last time I was there, you did win the division I was in, and I was second to you with a clear round on Parker after the event before he had like 6 rails. So I was so excited about having that clear round. I was like, I could win. And then you went in and did the same damn thing.
I probably had 6 rails.
So once again, you disappointed my friend.
I know, but we should probably have a picture of that. You and I, first and second at an event, in the same event. I mean, there's probably a lot more pictures of you and I in an ambulance together or something. than there are pictures of us first and second. But we'll frame that, and we will tell everybody about that one event that we were first and second. And when all's said and done, and we have 1,000 pictures from our career, we're also going to have that Buck and Kyle first.
Right.
And
I guarantee you, I do not have 1,000 pictures here of my horses or anything. I've got lots of horses that didn't make the wall at all. And I've been to your house, and I know it's about the same way. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Thanks for coming on, Buck. I really appreciate you being here as a title host. I might just keep you around if you keep that up.
All right. Well, I'll just say you're welcome to everybody in the land of watching this, and I will be back every once in a while to make the show as great as it should be, and
all right,
give you a break from Kyle.
All right. Thanks a lot, man, and thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that, and really do go check out and put your teams in, because it's a little bit like doing this in a vacuum. It's one thing to compete against Buck, but I love to see how I stack up against you guys. And right now, so far, it's been a pretty poor showing on my part, but I expect to change it around here. So go on there and let's see what you know.
Bye, guys.